What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to our player ratings here on Anfield Agenda after Liverpool and Manchester United play out a dire 0-0 draw. A result that means we finish the weekend in second place in the Premier League table, 1 point behind Arsenal. And I've got a lot to get off my chest. So, as always, I'm going to run through, give all the guys and the substitutes a score out of 10, asking you guys, as always, to be kind enough to let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Do please drop a like on the video if you enjoy it. And most importantly, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So, I'm going to start off with Alisson Becker, as we normally do. And let me just say again, like I feel like I say this every week, thank goodness we have that man in between the sticks. Because today, as much as Liverpool dominated territory, as much as we dominated possession, you have to say the biggest chance of that game fell to Manchester United. And if it wasn't for Alisson Becker being switched on and focused and making that one-on-one save, we could have been talking about a very different result today. So massive love for Alisson Becker. And we're going to start off with player ratings by giving him a score of 9. Didn't have much to do, but as always, everything Alisson does, he does perfectly. But this is where the fun ends, I'm afraid. After this, the ratings are not going to be that good. So strap yourselves in. Moving on to Trent Alexander-Arnold. And my biggest gripe about Trent today wasn't so much anything he did or didn't do. It's more about the manager. I don't know why he didn't start the game in the 6th. I don't know why we didn't go and take that game to Manchester United by giving Trent the opportunity to dictate the tempo and the flow of the game from a central position. Didn't understand it. Playing Endo there is fine, and I'll move on to Endo in a bit. But we had the chance to just show our initiative, to enforce our will on United, and I felt we went passive with the team selection. So I would have liked to have seen Trent in the 6th. But otherwise, he did okay. There was some overhit passes, but when you're trying to make things happen like he does, sometimes you get it right, sometimes you won't. Closest we came to scoring in the game probably came from a Trent shot from the edge of the box. Half a yard the other side of the post, that's in, and Onana doesn't even move to it. So we're going to give Trent today a score of 6 out of 10. He was okay, not the worst of what we've seen out there. Now we move on to Ibu, and look again, I just... a couple of headers I think he could have done better with in the opposition penalty area. Again, though, we sometimes, when we're counter-attacked, we look very easy to run through. And I don't think he had a great game today, Ibu. You can say he didn't have much to do, but he also didn't really impose himself on the game too much. So I'm going to give Ibu a score of 5 out of 10. Moving on now to our captain, Virgil van Dijk. And again, I was hoping for a little bit more proactivity from Virgil. I've seen a lot of masterminding the movement of players around. And we speak about it like a chess master moving pieces around the board. But that's great when there's loads of time on the clock, or when you're playing opposition to give you space. But when you are up against the clock, when you are being frustrated, I'd like to see a bit more urgency, and that needs to start from the captain. So today I'm going to give Virgil van Dijk a score of 6 out of 10. I just think a little bit more urgency at times, a little bit more rallying of the troops is what I'd like to see from my leader. On the other side, Kostas Tsimikas, again, I think there was too much cutting inside overall today. Kostas, Diaz, Salah, whatever. But I thought Kostas did okay. He certainly played with a lot of energy and got stuck in. And of our back line, I probably thought he was the best of the bunch, to be honest with you. So Kostas gets a score of 7 out of 10. Backline, obviously not including Alisson Becker. Moving on to Wataru Endo, who I did say to you guys a moment ago, I'll be moving on to. So I need to caveat what I'm about to say by saying this. I think Endo was okay today. I think Endo did himself no harm whatsoever there today. But he was never going to be a difference maker. And we were too respectful to Manchester United, in my opinion, even playing a defensive midfielder. They had 2 deep-lying players in Kobbie Mainoo and Sofiane Amrabat. They didn't set up to come and have a go with us and win anything. And we kind of played into that. So that's what I mean by I'm disappointed with the fact that Endo played. Because I would have rather Trent in that position where we tried to force the game. But that being said, I thought Endo put in a decent shift. Probably one of our better midfield players. So Wataru gets a score of 7 out of 10. Moving into Mr. Gravenberch. So disappointing to see him go off with what looked like an injury. I would have maybe, we spoke about Trent in the 6th. He could have been another option for us to try in the 6th today, Mr. Gravenberch. Again, he did okay. Like my worst scores are still to come for other players, trust me. I think Gravenberch was okay today. Didn't really join up the attacking midfield as much as I would have liked. But yeah, down that left side, we just struggled to make anything happen. So, got to give Gravenberch a score of 6 out of 10 today. Let me know in the chat if you agree or if you disagree. Moving on now to this gentleman, and I don't know what's happened. He looks tired, he looks frustrated, he looks a little bit dejected, and he looks a long way from the Dominik Szoboszlai that we had for the first few months of the season. I don't know if he's not settling in the city. I don't know if it is fatigue from the sheer volume of games he's played. But I think the time has come that Jurgen should start playing Elliott. And so much, not just because I don't want to write off Szoboszlai, it's nothing like that. I just think Elliott deserves to start and Dominik deserves to come out of the firing line. So that's what I hope happens for the West Ham game, is I want to see Harvey Elliott start. So I'm going to give Szoboszlai a score 4 out of 10 today. It's just not been great from Dom. He's capable of so much more. Mr. Diaz, frustration is the one word that comes to my mind today. Time and time and time again, he runs into congested areas. Whole lot of space down the left, go around the outside of the defender, take on Dalot, do something. No, get the ball, cut inside, and try to make things happen then in a very, very congested part of the pitch where all of United's defenders are there and our players are combined around the edge of the box. It doesn't work. There's no point in having wingers if they don't play as wingers. We don't need more inverted forwards. We need to use the full width of the pitch. We're playing against a low block, and he didn't do that today, and it really, really wound me up. So he gets a score of 6 out of 10. Mohamed Salah. Look, I think he's done. I'm going to say what you're probably thinking. I think he's done. He will score. He will assist. But the Mohamed Salah that we think of, the one that just terrifies defenders, the one that cuts it on his left foot and scores, that Mohamed Salah doesn't exist anymore. Yes, he scored a goal last week, but it was a deflected shot from a left-footed strike. I don't know what's going on. But at this point, he's not passing the eye test. And I'm sure somebody in the comments will talk to me about stats. But I know what I see. And I'm not seeing him impacting the game enough. I spoke about Diaz cutting in. This man is almost scared to kick the ball with his right foot. I don't know why he doesn't go around the outside. It is absolutely pointless picking the ball up in a wide area and running from right to left across the edge of a box. And it always ends up with a shot being blocked and a ricochet back outside. Watch the game back. Watch how many times it happens. The man's numbers and his legendary status at Liverpool is secure. No matter what else happens, it's secure. But right now, sell him. Sell him in the summer, because this Mohamed Salah is not the Mohamed Salah we've seen in recent years. And nobody's going to convince me otherwise of that, I'm afraid. So for me, I would move Mo on. And I would give him a 5 for today's performance. If we get 100 or 150 million, let him go off to Saudi, because we need energy and we need somebody. I don't come at me with the being disrespectful stuff. I'm sorry. I'm telling you how I feel, and I'm telling you what I've seen out there. And it's not the first week. So for me, if you want to be paid to be a difference maker, you've got to continue to be a difference maker. And I'm not seeing it with Mo. I'm just not at the minute. I want to, but I'm not. This man, whatever I said about Mo there, multiplied by 10 for Darwin. I've defended him more than anybody else. I have tried to have belief in him. But today, another hat-trick of offsides. Another yellow card for stupidity. And nothing positive to impact the game. Nothing. That's the biggest detrimental thing I can say about this man. Nothing. Just a bundle of useless energy. I can't defend it. I want to, but how can I? I have to be a realist. He's an absolute waste of space at the minute. He knows it, you know it, I know it, and all the pandering down and talking about potential is just that. It's me waffling, it's you trying to smooth it over. Just be honest about it. He needs to be benched for the foreseeable until he shows that he actually understands what the offside trap is for a start. 3 times today again, versus 3 or 4 times last week. Does he understand the rules of the game? There's something very basic lacking in Darwin, and I can't figure it out. He's just frustrating, and I don't know how much more we can cope with. So for Darwin today, a 3. A generous 3, because I don't even know if he deserved that. Mr. Joe Gomez would have started him today at right back, as I mentioned, and moved Trent into the middle. I think when we did bring him on, it was too little too late from Jurgen today. He was reactive and not proactive in his changes. And I've nothing against Joe's performance today. I've nothing against Joe in general, so I'm going to give Joe a 6. Curtis Jones, again, like Elliott, too late to bring him on. Again, we're trying to salvage a game at this point, trying to find a miracle. Should have been done at half time. Our manager bottled it today. Our manager was a coward today. And I don't know if I've ever said that word about Jurgen Klopp before, but I'm sick of it. I'm sick of him letting these clowns figure it out. Don't give them 15 minutes. They got 45. They were terrible. Drag them off. Make the changes. And don't tell me we can't improve in the market. I don't want to hear that nonsense either from Klopp. So for Jones today, I'm just sorry he wasn't on the pitch earlier. And that, again, as I said, we're trying to be reactive and salvage something rather than being proactive and going and win the game from the start. So Jones gets a 5, but more so because he didn't really have much time. Mr. Gakpo, again, a lot of you guys will probably feel he should have started the game. I agreed. In my team prediction, I thought it was either going to be himself or Gravenberch on the left side of midfield. I never thought he'd start through the centre because I gave Darwin the benefit of the doubt. I thought that this was the day that he knew what it meant. This was the day he'd put his efforts in, and Darwin was terrible. So Gakpo has to start in the future. Today I'm going to give Cody a score of 6 for his performance. Harvey Elliott. Just like I said earlier on, he has got to start against West Ham. He has got to start against Arsenal. And Klopp needs to make that tough call. Szoboszlai needs a breather. He needs to be taken out of the firing line. Elliott's chomping at the bit. Give him the start. Let's see what the kid can do. So I hope Elliott plays against West Ham. And today I'm going to give him a score of 6 again, because he came into the game late. And I think it was too little too late from Klopp. Now we move on to the manager. And I feel like I have to say this, although I probably shouldn't. Yes, Jurgen Klopp is great. Yes, we all Jurgen Klopp, love Jurgen Klopp. But he's not infallible. He does make stupid decisions. And the first stupid decision he made this week was to play down this game. To talk about United being a wounded animal. He should have been laying into them. He should have been telling his players to go out there and play with confidence and a swagger and show Manchester United that they're out of their depth. We should have enforced our will on them. We should have gone bolder with our team selection. But no, passive, reactive, and too slow to make changes. It is just not good enough, Jurgen. So don't tell us we can't improve in the market. We can. Don't tell us we haven't got the money. We do. What we need is you to be a leader and make the tough calls. Buy in the market and make changes to the team. Elliott deserves to start. Make the difficult calls. Stop giving them the benefit of the doubt. The days of giving them 15 minutes in the second half to prove their worth are over. If they can't cut it in 45, whip them off at half time. You're allowed 5 changes. Use them, or what is the point? You cannot try and win things in the last 15 minutes. We've got 90 minutes to win a game. Use your substitutes. Or get players you trust. One or the other. So for Jurgen today, he gets a 3. One of the poorest managerial games I've seen from him. Just nothing to be positive about from that. Just reactive, not proactive. I know I keep using that phrase, but how many times do we have to play a low block team before we find some way of breaking them down? It doesn't matter if it's United, Crystal Palace, doesn't make any difference. We know we struggle. How? How is it every single week? City don't struggle against it. They pick them apart. Why can't we? That comes down to the manager. So I've had my say. Now it's over to you guys. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Thank you for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.